Yo! Yo, everybody! Well, I had I think one of my first comments from somebody on one of my decks. They were requesting a deck list for Anowon. Sure, I mean, this deck is busted. This card is busted. What's to say? I mean, we put cheap creatures on the battlefield that are unblockable. We draw tons of cards. And honestly, like, kind of feel bad for some of the cards that are in here. Like, really mostly just the Time Walk. I feel like we really don't even need it. The cards are here, just synergize so well together. In terms of any additions or omissions, we have taken out the Jingataxis from the March of the Machine. It's not that I didn't like the card, it's just, I mean, it's just kind of clunky. I do like the Sheoldred though. The 5-mana Sheoldred is fantastic. That card is very easy to basically get into the Saga side because we'll have plenty of cards in the graveyard, and then it just can basically hit all of our opponents with the, they have to sacrifice a non-token when it comes on the battlefield, and then when we flip it, we can destroy another thing on the opponent's battlefield that's a creature. So, like, if I could have, like, another Sheoldred, you know, that'd be cool. Like another 5-mana Sheoldred in the deck, that'd be kind of fun. But maybe we'll take the Time Walk out. And in fact, let's talk about Sheoldred. While we're on the topic here. I mean, I have one in my binder. I'm not doing anything with it. I guess I'll just like take the spot of the Time Walk because I really feel like the Time Walk is kind of toxic. I'd say like the power level at my LGS, I feel this kind of feels bad because once I play like a Time Walk in this deck, it's not really fun anymore, you know? It's just like, feels like I'm just kind of bullying the table a little bit. This is kind of maybe even a stronger card than Time Walk, and but I won't feel like too salty about it either. I guess I'll feel less salty, even for playing a Sheoldred. Is that possible? I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, the deck list has been requested, so I'm going to put this on Moxfield. I think I might already have it on Moxfield. Maybe I'll just have to update it. There might be a couple other changes that I've made to it in the meantime, but here we go. Anowon is our commander. It is a rogue. It buffs all our rogues, which is just crazy. And then we get combat damage done to a player. They mill cards based on the power level of that of the creature and the damage they've been dealt. And then you can activate this basically once for each opponent a turn. You just have to meet the condition of milling a creature, and if you do, then you get to draw a card. You do not get to draw multiples. If you like mill like 3 or 4 creatures, you just meet the condition of milling at least one, and then you get to draw for that opponent. So if you swing at 3 different opponents, you could draw up to 3 cards if they all milled a creature. All right. We're working with our Dimir colors, so honestly, this Dimir deck kind of slaps. Like, it hits, the combat feels a lot harder because all the creatures are unblockable or very evasive, and they get the buff from the Anowon. And there's so many good rogues. The damage they do is so strong. I mean, there's some really good rogues in this deck that kind of either act to buff up your other rogues or like maybe put counters on them. There's also a lot of rogues in here that reduce the cost of rogues, so it's just an all-around, it's just a very strong archetype. There's lots of counter spells that you get to play. There's a lot of very strong enchantments you get to play. And I don't think I really left any, you know, too many omissions to this deck. I mean, I suppose you could play like a Jeweled Lotus as well, because it is like a nice commander cost here, like in the 4 spots, so you could like have a turn 1 Anowon. Other than that though, we're pretty satisfied with some of the other mana rocks that we're kind of playing here. Reconnaissance Mission, that's just like kind of benefits from us getting to do damage to opponents. Call of the Ring. I think this is kind of one of the submissions that I haven't talked about since I did that deck video a few weeks ago. So yeah, we have the Call of the Ring now in the deck, which is a very strong card because we are playing low-cost creatures, and we're basically getting that tempt off of those creatures, and then we're being able to draw cards at the at our draw step and our upkeep, and that's just very nice. And you know, we take a little bit of a hit from that, but you know, we do get the ring tempt as well, which is nice. It kind of helps us look through our deck, and also kind of makes our creatures even more evasive. So there's that. So very cool card there. Just we have the same kind of rogue suite with some nice 1-mana rogues here. Metallic Mimic is a nice one there in the 2 spot to kind of buff our rogues up when they come in the battlefield. It also becomes a rogue itself. Faceless Haven because we're running snow, so for Blood on the Snow, but we could also get Faceless Haven that can also be turned into a rogue, which is nice. Arcane Signet. This is just kind of the ramp we're going to be able to utilize in our colors. One of the cool additions that I put into this deck was the Springleaf Drum. I feel that's another cool kind of tech card here, because I can tap a creature for mana on one of our little guys. Let's go into the lands here. Here's Sakashima. Just a solid shapeshifter here. And becomes a legendary. And it's a rogue too, which is kind of nice too. But yeah, Sakashima is cool. You can copy our commander with it. Frog Tosser, this is just kind of lets all of our rogues come in on the cheap. It's nice. There's Drown in the Loch, Rhystic Study. Just a bomb card, super bomb. Rankle, Master of Pranks, a great rogue here for our deck. Just fantastic. Can kind of let our opponents discard cards and sacrifice creatures. We can give up one of our little ones for one of theirs. Memory Lapse, some of our counter magic. Kind of, you know, make sure that we kind of stick with the 1 blue ones. You know, 2 blue is a little more tough for our deck, this particular deck. Just the way the mana base is set up. So we like cards like Memory Lapse. Even Delay is a good one too for that same cost. March of Swirling Mist, just a fantastic tempo card. Just can save our stuff, save our board if we need to utilize it. Also can shore up the other opponent's stuff. Dakanuma. I think I have like March of Swirling Mist in like most of my blue decks because I run a lot of creatures in each of my deck. Knowledge Exploration, this is just one of those benefits for playing tribal rogues. So you get to deal damage, and then you can find a sorcery card or instant card in an opponent's deck and play it for that cost, for that prowl cost if you deal damage with a rogue. Very nice. Some of our dual lands here. Reliquary Tower. You gotta run like Reliquary Tower, Thought Vessel. It's like absolutely essential for this deck because you will draw so many freaking cards. So it's just nice to like keep your hands, like having no maximum hand size. We also have the Seagate Restoration for that. Dousing Dagger. This is just like a fun little kind of just mana accelerant for our colors. I have this in my Maria deck too. I like this card a lot. There's Agadeem's Awakening. It's just on the flip side right now. Just flip it over real quick. This is how it's supposed to be showing. And then we're back at Reconnaissance Mission. So there's Agadeem's. I like that card too a lot. Can bring back some of our stuff. As we do run a good varying amount of 1 cost, 2 costs, and 3 costs. So there's that. So pretty much the only new addition so far, I believe, is the Call of the Ring. I think that's kind of like pretty much the only thing. You know, obviously we got some very strong cards in here, which are nice. Otawara, I really love this legendary land for bouncing things. An Offer You Can't Refuse, just a very cool like 1-mana hold up card. Kindred Discovery for drawing all those cards off of our rogues that hit. I have also Gix in here. Gix is a fun card because it kind of dissuades your opponents from swinging on you and swinging on the other opponents, and they can get cards out of it too. So it's also kind of an interesting risk-reward card. Bloodchief's Ascension, this was one that I've added as well. I didn't have it in the deck before, but it's just perfect for, you know, and this has just been reprinted too, and I think Commander Masters. So you can get this card for like $2, like $2 or $3. It's a fantastic card. If you read this card for 1 mana, and you'll see it in the Anowon deck, you better start running, because this card is gonna spank you. It's gonna hurt your body. So yeah, for this card, it's 1 black. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Blood Chief's Ascension. Yeah, our opponents are going to be losing some life. Yeah, so you could probably hit multiple opponents and put more quest counters on this. Whenever a card is put into the opponent graveyard from anywhere, if Blood Chief Ascension has 3 more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, wow. So if multiple cards are put in there, is that how it works? I haven't really played with it too much, but I'm ready to try. So there's Blood Chief's Ascension. So whenever a card, so I think if they put multiple cards, they're gonna lose lots of life. And we gain life? Sin's busted, guys. Super busted. All right, Stink Drinker Bandit. This is also a super cool card. You get to deal damage. We're gonna do the damage. We're going to buff up all our rogues and basically make them feel like Embercleaves. And because they're basically unblockable, so they're going to get that buff. Whew. Ooh, baby. Keeper of the Keys. The 5 mana cost seems high. Yes. And most of our cards are unblockable already, but I really like this card. It even lets our Anowon get swing in, which is kind of fun. So it kind of gets the cards that maybe we don't have unblockable with, they get to start swinging too. It's very cool. It just ensures unblockability, and it gives us the Monarch. Little scary prickly bow right there. He's very fearful. Look at him, he's little porcupine guy. Deadly Rollick. Yeah, this deck has everything that's good. Dothy Voidwalker, Spark Double, Nighthack Scavenger, very good rogue. Bitter Blossom, Thought Vessel. There's Gix, Mystical Tutor. Yeah, we really didn't hold back on this deck. It's got all the goodies in it. The aforementioned probably Time Warp. Yeah, I think I'll just put in a Sheoldred. Is that okay? It's not an extra turn. It's just a really scary card. And we're gonna be gaining so much life. It just makes sense for our deck. We don't have any wheels. We're not going to make anybody draw 7 into that. Blood on the Snow, Kaito Shizuki, Extinction Event, Mercurial Spelldancer, Changeling Outcast, Swan Song, Talisman, Dark Ritual, Grim Hireling, Hearse, just to kind of keep that graveyard show. Invasion of Ammo Cat, very cool. And this is the one we talked about in our last video, the Invasion. It's just fantastic. Even ran in like the Sultai lists for a while. Probably could still hang in there, to be honest. Notorious Throng. This is like kind of an extra turn spell, but it's for rogue, so we'll keep that. We don't need two Time Walks. One's enough. There's a 5 mana Sheoldred that we love so much. Zarasan. This card just makes people scoop. Seeming Symmetry is a fantastic card for this deck. Basically, it's like a Vampiric Tutor for us. And it's a cheaper way of having a Vampiric Tutor in our deck. So it's just nice because we could have opponents search for the library, we swing, and then that card goes into their graveyard. So it's really no penalty to us, and we just get a card that we want in our hand. Teferi's Ageless Insight, Thieves Guild Enforcer, Ona's Black card. There's a Springdrift Drum. What a cool card for this deck. That was really the cool tech. And that's sometimes what really starts to take your deck over the top, is like these kind of cool tech cards that you add in. So, I mean, that's kind of the deck there. That's Anowon. So, I mean, if you want to just kind of see what an opener looked like, it looked like we had a Springleaf Drum. And I don't think we're going to hate that. Let's hopefully get a Swamp here. Look at this. I can never do wrong with this deck. I just curve out so nicely, like all the time with it. Yeah, it's a nice curve there on his Blackguard. So we just go ahead and just open up with our Springleaf Drum here. just like so. Ooh, that is a enforcer. So this is kind of nice. So what we could do here, we can go ahead and play our Thieves Guild Enforcer here for a swamp. And then we can hold up this for, we could flash in any of our threats really. Probably Soaring Thought Thief, if you guys want to get, let's be honest. I mean, Ona's Blackguard is so good though too. Like, so there's some serious choices here. But they don't have flash, so we'd have to flash in this guy. The Soaring Thought Thief. That would be the play, obviously. We're going to be flashing that in on end step. And we're going to be starting to beat down with our rogues. Draw in here. We did not hit land there. So we have some options here at this time. Because basically we have 4 mana available. We could probably want to, actually what we'd probably want to do, we could like play Black Market to just ensure like our land drop and some ramp for next turn. We could also play Anowon and by tapping like one of our, maybe our Thief or Thieves Guild Enforcer, and we could swing on an opponent probably with a Soaring Thought Thief and try to hit land that way. That could be an option too. Probably getting Anowon out is probably not a bad idea. So you probably get our commander out here. Yeah, you could even double spell with like maybe a Felwar Stone and like an Ona's Blackguard or maybe Sig. That could be another option to kind of like make sure we accelerate into some sort of mana this turn. Probably be the most responsible play, just to just make sure we hit some sort of mana source with our Felwar Stone. That's an option. So there's a couple options here. We can draw lots of cards with the Sig. Getting also the Ona's down is kind of nice too, because then our creatures, when 1/1 encounters on them, we'll start having our opponents discard. Whew, so this is like a very tough decision. I mean, if you want to be mana efficient, it's either going to be, I mean, we could actually probably go into Felwar Stone Black Market. That's probably the best play. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. That seems pretty solid. So if we go Felwar Stone here, like so, and then we'd have, you know, 3 mana left. I think, let's see, 1, 2, actually, yeah, it should work. Yeah, because we, actually, I think we only have, oh, we only have 3 mana available with the drum. Okay, my bad. Yes, 1 mana available. So, I mean, we could still do the Felwar Stone into the Blackguard. Could we do that? Yes, we could. Or I really think in that case that we're probably just going to get Anowon down and try to hit land that way. But having Anowon come down with a 1/1 counter is not that bad either. We could also draw a card with Sig if we tap things right. If an opponent has a black or a blue available, we could go Felwar Stone into Sig as well and draw a card because we'd be dealing the damage. Be dealing enough though. I think so. I think the Thieves Guild could get to a 3 damage actually. It seems pretty solid. It would be on end step though, but we would get down our Felwar Stone. Yeah. All right. So we'd hope for some things like that. Some blue would be available or black on the opponent's battlefield. If not, then we'd have to just maybe go into Black Market. So anyway, let's just imagine that we're doing this. Felwar Stone, we tap this for mana, and then we are able to play our Sig, if that's a possibility. If an opponent has a blue or black available, we do that double black or double blue. And then we would have definitely enough. We'd definitely be milling, make sure we're milling yeah, we'd be hitting the criteria for the Thieves Guild Enforcer. Because we'd have this rogue for 2 cards, then additional 2 cards, then additional 2 cards, and then when this swings, the opponent would have 8. So we just have to make sure the same opponent is milling the cards. Swing for 3 here, and then draw with the SIG. On our end step, it's a scheming symmetry, so it's not a land, unfortunately. And let's see, are we gonna get a land on this turn? No! Zarasan, though. It's kind of interesting. So, despite not hitting our land, we did pretty well, I'd say. I definitely wouldn't be too complaining about this particular sequence. I mean, we're basically just like a land off of just like really getting some good stuff going. So, would have Anowon coming down. We wouldn't have been able to play Anowon at that point. So, I think we kind of did everything we could to kind of get to that land. Well, that is it. So I will definitely put the deck list online on the Moxfield, and then that will be that. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all later.